Hello, my name is Colin Mills, and if you are seeing this video on YouTube and would like to see more similar presentations, please go to my website www.whatmakesyoutick.org. About 45 years ago, I gave a presentation to a group of people about psychosomatic illnesses caused by the mind. There was a group of medical doctors in the audience, and I was more or less laughed off the stage for suggesting that many diseases were caused by the mind, mainly through stress. 45 years on, and the medical profession now know better than to rubbish these ideas. Their understanding of this is now just an accepted reality. But what they don't know, however, are the specifics of what types of emotional or mental distress make up the illnesses or diseases that create havoc in our body. Yet the following, which spells out some of the causes of many of these illnesses, was already in print years before these doctors graduated. The following, which can be found in many of Lucille Cederkranz's books, are food for thought when it comes to understanding our many illnesses and diseases. In many of my previous articles or presentations, I have pointed out that we are in a process of evolutionary growth, and that for the most part of humanity, 85% apparently, are still working through the emotional or astral plane, which carries these psychosomatic illnesses, along with the associated karma connected to them. What this means to that 85% is that their emotions tend to run their lives instead of their mental body or mind. To use the cliche, the tail wags the dog. Therein lies the source of our woes, because our emotional body contains stuff, mainly memories or past traumas. Traumas that we have either received from others or done to others, along with the decisions and considerations that we made at the time that we may or may not have been aware of, which are now likely being played out in our daily lives in the form of good or bad karma. The consequence of this package is our default emotional feelings, whether you see your glass as full or half full or empty. But what are we projecting outwards towards others, and sometimes even towards ourselves, because of our past that causes these mental, emotional, and physical diseases to manifest within us? There's hate. Life throws us into situations where, if our emotional upset is such, we may find ourselves hating. Hate is resolved by examining our own darkness or ignorance. What or who are we hating is merely a reflection or projection of our own self, and it is the deeper understanding of this which replaces that hate with love. And there's envy, resentment, and jealousy, which are watered down versions of hate. I have had clients who refuse to let go of these because to do so would mean they, that is the person they are directing this energy towards, have bested me. Such people are usually incapable of accepting their own inadequacies, which we all have. And then there is pride. Such a person has an inflated opinion of their own abilities, driven most likely by fears of inadequacy. Looking at the feelings of pride, I swelled with pride. These mostly come about when one has achieved something and received admiration for it, boosting the ego to greater heights until such time as their bubble is burst. While this is the case with many people, it isn't the same as those whose pride carries permanent conceit and self-importance. In this false ego state, pride flourishes until someone puts this person in their place. Pride comes before the fall follows. The ego bubble bursts along with the wailing and gnashing of teeth, bringing the person back to reality. Pride is overcome by replacing it with humility. And then there is greed. As the logo on the t-shirt says, there is no planet B. We need to realize that our planet does have limited resources. Only our desires do not understand this. Desires function from the place of I want, regardless of the fragility of the planet's ecosystems. Holding this idea of our planet's fragility, along with overcoming the desire of I want, and replacing it with the intention to share, overcomes this. And then there is grief. Grief is associated with loss, but the source of grief comes about because of the attachment we had to that which is now gone or lost. When we are truly able to dig into loss, we find that the cherished position that we have lost, which is always associated with love, is a reflection of a part of us. In other words, we, because of the attraction to the object, i.e. a person, an animal, a possession, etc., a door to our heart is opened which reveals an aspect of our own self, which is love, our most basic quality and who we really are. The person or animal or possession continues to hold the door open in our heart because of the love and connection to it, until such time as the attachment to that object is broken, usually when the other leaves. With nothing holding that door to our heart open, feelings of loss and grief likely follow. If we dig even further, we are likely to realize that the more we discover our soul and open the door to it, the more love we have for ourselves, and the less we need others to open its door. And then there is fear. There is an expression. The only thing to fear is fear itself. Looking at this further, what it is saying is that it is our own minds that contain that fear, and somehow we have to best it or overcome it. Many people live in a state of fear, resulting in dis-ease. Only fear is often too brutal a word for them to use, so it has been replaced with the word stress, probably one of the most used words in 21st century. Fear lies behind stress. And finally, misplaced love. Every one of us is born with a will that we use to get through life. Without it, we wouldn't get out of bed in the morning. When it comes to parenting, we run into a problem of using our will to guide our child. Only they have their own will, choosing to do what they want, often in opposition to our wants. Depending on how buried we are in our emotional plane, our love becomes controlling, driven mostly by fear, which in turn messes with the development of the child by opposing their will when it wasn't necessary. The expression of, "If you love someone, set them free," is applicable here. The bad news about the above is that we as humans have to move through the emotional body to resolve these, and that takes as long as it takes. However, we can use either meditation or psychotherapy to work through the above, and perhaps even speed up the process. Thanks for watching.